aka Patters. Welcome to another Wildstorm Wednesday on a Saturday night. Look guys, I know I've been delayed on some of these, but we're discussing something new, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Peter A. DeLuca, aka Pad, sometimes aka Pad69, but always the eclectic one. That's what I'm known as. We do the eclectic things here. This right here is I don't know how to define it. I don't know how to discuss it. I don't know where to classify this. I mean, it falls into the realm of a modern comic book industry that doesn't know where it came from. It doesn't know what to do with the material and the characters that it was built on. And it's pathetic and BAD, and it's sorry, and it's desperate. I'm trying to be nice here, but if you out there, if you pick this up, Waller vs. Wildstorm, we don't even know what Wildstorm is in this book, by the way. I guess that's a revelation we're going to get our mind balloons about. If you're out there, you bought this and you defend this, you're like literally not a part of the problem, you're the problem, because you're just a cheerleader. You're just like a robot. I've spent a lot of time these past couple of years between doing live streams and video drops, analyzing, studying, and defining the moments of Wildstorm Productions and Wildstorm Comics, you know, even including some of its creators like Jim Lee. And along the way, you know, you get burned out going into the old stuff a little bit. But when something new drops, you get like a little bit excited because you do want some of these ideas and some of these designs and just the attitude of the comics to come roaring back because like you're connected to it. Now, the original Wildstorm books, this right here, we'll just do Wildstorm number 1 because we're going to do like a little bit of a comparison. Wildstorm number 1. I mean, I remember buying this book when it came out. It blew my mind. I thought artwork-wise, writing-wise, it was as good as what they were doing with Avengers, X-Men, Justice League. And remember, during this time, there was really no Justice League, Fantastic Four, Avengers books. It was really X-Men only. And then, like, Jim Lee did give us Wildcats and Stormwatch, and they were comparable teams to everything that the X-Men were doing, to the point, and a lot of people forget this, that Wildcats went from comic book to cartoon and competed head to head with the X-Men animated series that is like today looked at as just a endless masterpiece. And people are very generous with their X-Men animated series love, but we have just this like revelation of what Waller vs. Wildstorm is. And I read this, I was excited, and as I turned the pages, as I read the captions and read the dialogue, I was like more and more disappointed. I was disappointed to the moment where like when I read the back here, like I got more disappointed, I got more upset. And I just debated the angle, the position, if I should even do it. Should I sit down and discuss Waller vs. Wildstorm for Wildstorm Wednesday, knowing I'm coming in heavy, I'm coming in a little bit angry, a little bit angsty, and I'm going to be comparing it to a 1993 piece, and maybe like trying to define what the disconnect is between 93 and 2023 comics. That's like that parallel or that line. It's a tough thing to really nail, to really explain, because there's a lot of moving elements when it comes to why something is considered good or better than what you're comparing it to, which is going to be the BAD and this is so bad it makes me angry. Now I'm coming to this, we're going to cut to the drawing table soon, but I'm coming at this from a position of wanting Waller vs. Wildstorm to be some new hotness, because it would, in my opinion, it would bring back a lot of the Wildstorm attitude that we really don't have in modern comics. And what is the Wildstorm attitude? Like, what did we see relatively from those first 3 years from Jim Lee's publishing house? It was espionage, spy, superhero, military drama. It was mostly superhero military drama. Those are your buzzwords. That's what the overall appeal was. And in a way, you think you would have gotten that with Rob Liefeld because, like, he militarized the New Mutants going into X-Force. But Rob Liefeld going into Extreme Comics was really more superhero. But Jim Lee took the angle that Rob Liefeld developed, transitioning New Mutants into X-Force, and we kind of hear this a lot where, Rob Liefeld made designs. He came up with designs and characters that could sell on the toy shelf one-to-one against, something like G.I. Joe. And this is something, that's popped up a few times in interviews, and I think Jim Lee was able to tap into that way more faster and accurately than Rob Liefeld. So Wildstorm Productions, a lot of what they were putting out, a lot of the energy going into like Gen 13, essentially, and Gen 13 changed everything for that company. But leading into Gen 13, it was really military superheroes with high melodrama, which we do expect at the time within comics. Like that's kind of the Chris Claremont formula that became prevalent. But we have to understand, when I say Chris Claremont, I also mean it was the attitude and everything we got at the time. Claremont just happened to do it with books that popped, but it was really a standard of writing comic books. There was always a lot of melodrama from panel to panel, because I do think there's a cognizant disconnect when you're seeing a panel versus when you're reading it, and the higher the drama between the two, it brings you into it. So you do have to like crank it up. That's why comic books have a lot of that soap opera emotion and reaction. So let's just do and this is going to be fast. We're going to do like a quick flip through on this. I'm going to trash it. I'm going to burn it. But I want everyone to see why this is so much better. And if you're out there creating comics, pick up the tips I'm giving you from 93 and ignore everything you see from 2023. And this here lies. This is like the big wedge. This is the big break within modern day comics, where something from 1993 should not be able to compete with something from 2023. And if you're out there, one of these cheerleaders that love everything Wildstorm, and you're so excited about this, and you're going to go online and defend it no matter what, you are not a part of the problem. You are the problem, because we have to. You almost have to diss this and shred it to move on from it. And I don't believe people out there, get much of that sense, to where I put my money where my mouth is, meaning I buy this. This is supposed to convince me to buy issue 2, and it doesn't. This convinces me to move on. And that's what we have to do with everything that we don't like. And people are rage viewing, they're rage purchasing, rage reading to see if things measure up to be as bad as they're hyped up to be. And I get it. It's fun bashing things, but it's more fun spending your money on entertainment and media that gets a high dopamine drip because it's satisfactory and well made. You get more by experiencing the better. You get more, and this is somewhat well priced, $6, but you can buy this for 50 cents in a comic book bin. 50 cents will get you way more than spending $6 modern day dollars or modern day pricing within comics. Let me just show it to you. AKA Padders, don't mind me. I'm just trying to draw a chihuahua here for my Transformers sketchbook that I've been live streaming. I just want to get right into this, because I don't want to give Wildstorm screen time. I really don't. I think ignoring something like this and moving on and not buying issue 2 is way more effective when it comes to moving that chain. So what's the story? Okay, so we have this really dumb drop. This is Lois Lane. If you watch the beginning of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, or no, Batman vs Superman, these guys, the two guys that wrote this, one of them is a national security reporter, Spencer Ackerman, and his friend Evan Narcisse. So it's Ackerman and Narcisse. These are writers. So these two guys, they've never read anything Wildstorm. They don't know what Wildstorm is, and all of their ideas within comics really do come from movies. Now, I do have to comment on the cover. There is no way the Jim Lee cover from 93, actually drawn in 92 here, published in 93. This cover here is from an artist that probably doesn't even know who these characters are. I am so sorry. And I just love that they're like, they don't know what Hellstrike is supposed to look like. He's just like a glowing glob here. They do have the newer design Winter, but it's madness. We don't know what time frame this takes place in. Every character I just pointed to here is supposed to be dead, by the way. But we get Lois Lane talking to a terrorist, and it's kind of like anti-American, but non-anti-American, but becomes anti-American, so that's effing great. And she meets up with Battalion, dressed in a way that you just don't see people dress in these S-hole third world countries. But he's like, look, I got this thing. Have you ever heard of Amanda Waller? I have all this proof. She's like, who's Amanda Waller? She killed my friend. Let me tell you about it. And then we do a flashback 1 year earlier. And this is where, honest to God, they throw in checkmate. You don't know what any of these relations are. Battalion comes in and he literally just like blows things up, shoots the ceiling, gets zapped by Winter. Winter is literally drawn like the Joker or something, and I don't know why. Like, we have this other panel here. The direction for that, this is what I mean. These people creating this book don't know who these characters are. But we get Battalion, and he does this like détente. He does this like sit-down conversation to his girl you think is Amanda Waller, but it's not. And they kind of just talk about, we are important when Stormwatch launched the satellite. So Stormwatch, as we would get in issue 1 here, Stormwatch is above Earth. They have a floating, just like the Justice League. I'm looking for it. I'm not getting. Here we go. See, like, Stormwatch has a floating fortress that deploys everything. This is what makes them cool. This is what makes them so awesome. And they're kind of like, when Stormwatch, when the satellite was launched, we had to be there. Meaning, that, you know, they match the same color. Like, we had to be there. It's pathetic. It really is. Like, you feel nothing, and this girl basically tricks and betrays him, and there's no Uncle Tom comment there, like, at all. And then we just get this Amanda Waller revelation here when they kind of drop the bomb that they're all after Battalion, and the Battalion gets relieved of his duty. They take the Battalion armor away from him. Now we have Amanda Waller that is barely highlighted. And then we have 6 months earlier, and we have this really weird team. Like, I don't know what this team is. We have Wetworks, Lynch, Deathblow. So it's like Dan from Wetworks, Lynch from Gen 13, Deathblow, Grifter, what's it? Not Fahrenheit. I forget but it's like we have all these characters that mean nothing. And the whole setup is that they send these superheroes into other countries to kidnap the kids, and the kids are tortured and experimented on by Amanda Waller. And then we get somewhat of a rendition. Like, they talk about rendition here, and they're trying to make a point about Guantanamo Bay. It's completely sorry that they have a guy like Deathblow crying because he's being renditioned, and renditioned is and they're really trying to make this political statement with the way that they're defining that. And then Battalion and Deathblow do a mission. They get a couple more documents, and then for some reason, whatever Battalion is talking to Lois Lane about, she has to throw up. And then we get this dumb revelation here of Deathstroke saying, "Hey, you're not going to believe who just walked out of this building that I'm randomly watching." So there's no desire for me to read the next issue. There's no definition of why there's this weird hodgepodge of these guys where you kind of this is what I mean. These people don't read comics. They don't know comics. Why is Grifter walking through all of this as if he's a comedian from The Watchmen? If that's what they were intending, it's a bad reference. He doesn't even have a blowtorch in this scene. And you know what, too? There was this other shot in here where, oh yeah, look, Deathblow is holding a gun without a clip. There's no clip in this gun, and it's just like, this is just people that want, like, I get what you're trying to say about military intervention, rendition, kind of like the murkiness of the American military at times. I get, but we don't want that. We want superheroes. And this is really what got me. So look how silly Battalion's, like, his dome looks. This is what I mean. These people never read, like, the comics. See, this is 1993 crushing 2023 here. Battalion's dome is just supposed to look BADASS. BADASS. Look at the way it's like scooped out, and it just sits on top of his armor. It's just weird. There's nothing cool about it. And your job, especially if you're using the name Wildstorm, is you have to be like a little bit above it all. You have to be cool. You just have to, and Battalion is supposed to be bigger and armored and like kind of, like Cable. He's supposed to be giant and cable-y, but he's not. People, avoid this at all costs. I apologize. I know I've been ranting a lot. Let's just wrap this up. Yeah, people, just keep in mind, my goal, my objective never is to come at anything heavy and negative. I view being negative, period, as a part of the disease that percolates, that simmers too much online. I think we all consume too much negative content. For my argument, I spent years preaching not to be negative and be positive, but at the same time, when I see material like this drop and come out, and no one really sounds the alarm for a legit reason, I get a little bit concerned, and I feel like I have to be the one to do this. And look, we can make some really solid arguments as of my 2023 video rollout. There's a lot that we've been nailing as of like the heartbeat of the culture, the heartbeat of, what you might call the culture war. This channel and myself, we have been right more often than not. That is insanely important. And I know I reach a lot of creators. A lot of you guys watch me from my live streams. Just remember, our goal, period, the goal in creating anything is to crush and defeat the generation that came before you. And if you're not actively doing that, you're doing nothing. You're not moving the needle. You're not moving the chain. You're contributing a big fat donut. Don't do that. You have to be able to look at anything that came out before you, and even look at the work you're doing now, and you have to be able to say, this work that I'm doing now is better than what these guys were doing then. That's what I push for. That's what I strive for, aka Padders. let's rock and roll, let's move forward, let's produce the next big thing, because that's what we have to do. And as of moving forward with Wildstorm Wednesday, I do have a couple more video ideas, but I just don't feel motivated after reading this. I just kind of want to end it. That's probably not going to be the case, but that's how I'm feeling right now. So, subscribe, support, leave a comment, rock and roll. We got more videos coming. Let's do this.